Hey, it's Rovex, and I've been a Challenger player for over 10 years. Recently, I played support professionally for Team Liquid and Cloud9's NACL affiliate org, and now I am making content in the off-season to help you climb to the highest ranks as a support. Hey guys, today we got another support gameplay, and we have Pyke versus Ezreal, and we'll get straight into the action. First things first, we're trying to make the lane as volatile as possible because our champions are strong level 1. I know Ezreal's not stacking his passive, so any hook is winning for us. Alright, got Ezreal heal. Already starting from 2 minutes into the lane. Lane's pretty much won. Any hook I hit is going to be a winning trade. They'll never have push in this lane because we have minions stacking and he's not able to keep his passive up. So we're pretty much good on that end. We have the Shyvana, so ganking is not really too much of an option for us unless if we can get the wave to bounce back to us, which it should start happening on this third wave, depending on what my AD decides to do. Either way, it's fine. If we push in, we have the option to invade, and if the wave comes out, then these guys will be gankable. So it already seems like my AD wants to push. No problem. I should have probably tracked exactly where the jungle was. And here I hit a hook on Nautilus. He loses his sums. And he can't play anymore. So I'm ready to start getting the information I would want. I don't have trinkets. Usually you go sweeper to just control the bushes so they can't ward it. And they can't ward for ganks. But in this case it's kind of bad because I can't even use a yellow trinket despite hard winning my lane. Now at this point, it's not too ideal for us to keep the wave here, but they end up pushing the wave, which they shouldn't have because we were the initial ones to make the push. And we can see on this bounce back, since we're not invading, this is going to be a gank option. My jungler's doing crab. I'm still going to look for hooks myself. See if I can burn any conditions, and Pyke's not too useful if your AD can't hit. And we can see they're already trying to get this wave on. They realize that they're doomed if they keep keeping the wave at the place it is. Nautilus Qs, he wastes it, he has no flash. I flash on him and he's punished. And already there, we're starting the bot gap, and jungle makes a really good decision to come down. So with that, we can start our snowball. We can see our top dies solo. As if you guys watch the other videos, we would not be too surprised that my top laner is gapped this game. At this point, we just want to push the wave, get a reset. Now, you have to think about it this way. Instead of trying to continue to lane even, if you don't spend your gold, you're pretty much even strength. You might as well not got the kill. They're just going to come back with better conditions. So prioritizing our base is the first thing that we want to do. Shyvana's doing her work by full clearing, which is good. Not sure why it took so long in base. Must have saw a donut or something. Now with this, it's not that I didn't mean to not buy the longsword. I've been kind of believing that buying symbiotic souls on Pyke especially is mega broken, and it's 600 gold. So I just want to save up. I could have bought a control ward, and 90% chance that the next time I base I will have a full tier 2 boot buy, but I've been scarred too many times, so I will just not buy anything. And control wards are kind of overrated in solo queue. So here my AD wants to freeze, but usually it's pretty illegal for your jungler to do Drake without prio. Most people kind of go through this grievance of their jungler goes to crab, he doesn't have prio and he ruins the game. It's kind of the same thing for objectives. You generally want to push and want to be ready to move. So here we get the wave out, so bot wave will come back in, and I have the 600 gold base for the boots. Had I bought a control ward or like longsword or anything, I would not be able to get this base, but now I can start stacking it. Lonesome Ranger messages me telling me that this brand is a terrorist, but this guy seems to be doing fine, so I'll just let him know. Mid's fine, and I'll path through him because my AD is just waiting for the wave to come in. I don't want to fight in the bot wave, so I might as well see what I can do for mid, and then just be back for the bot wave. Now Nala starts aggressing, so I naturally have to go back to bot, but when Nala's full blows up this wave, they can't dive my AD carry. This is kind of one of the weak sides of Ezreal's. He needs to stack up. So he's fine. I come here because I need my stacks, and also I need XP. So it's really important I get this. It'd be pretty good to freeze here, which my AD also evaluates is the correct decision to make. Ezreal's pushing though. Ideally, I would want to fight, but I don't have the information to just full commit to attacking them because I don't have flash, and trading 1-for-1 is not really too ideal. Dornalis is posturing away, and Shyvana is already showing that Gwen's in bot side. Here I go for a max range hook. Get the Ezreal. The trade's not the best for us, but you would still consider an up trade. Ezreal conditions are not that great. Nautilus is running out of pots. My 80 gets hooked. I should never have to block for the hook for him. This is generally the case if you're not playing like Leona or Alistar. Their 80 kind of sends it, and we both die. So this is really bad. Obviously, it's not good to die 2-for-1, but the concept of even making a fight happen when their jungler is on your side of the map is a pretty bad mistake. Because my jungler is getting a lot done top side, and if we didn't die bot side, their jungler would have no play, and he wouldn't even have top camps. So the fact that we died just gave him a play, and then just gave him a bailout for making that decision. So now it's the same thing. My Kai'Sa has death tempo now, so my Kai'Sa is going to be able to hit the wave before their bot line comes back. So unless if they freeze bot, I should be able to extend my roam timer. And here their Nautilus paths through mid. Kind of did the same thing I did, but our champions are just better at doing it. Their Gwen decides to cover while my Shyvana decides to farm, but since we already did the 1-for-0, we're way up on the trade. And now I know Nautilus is going back into bot side, so I will also go into bot side as well, just to try to trail him and make sure my AD can eat. Here I get vision in the jungle, and after he gets his wave out, I'll press base and make sure this wave is fully out. It's fully out. I get the base off, and then it's the same thing. Now my AD is going to base, so I have an even longer timer. So I'm going to go top and see if there's no play. Top diff. I had to quickly see the IGN to see why my top laner was losing so hard. Not sure if it was understandable, but go back to my winning lane. Brand's doing well, and notice that my Kai'Sa is in base, so I'm taking a lot of time in this top side. And just having tier 2 boots, I'm able to be everywhere without losing too much on the other side of the map. So I got Shyvana paired up with me. See if we can get a better gank angle together. Patience is key, and my Kai'Sa still shouldn't be at threat to be dove, so I'm still gonna see what I can get with her. Same thing, get vision on their top side. Don't want to spend too much time doing nothing. Pink grubs, make sure we get this, and they actually do end up trying to dive my Kai'Sa, and somehow they successfully do it. Now whether that's my fault, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's not my fault. He should just never be diveable from full HP. So either he took a bad trade or he forced a trade. Either way, he should just never die, especially if he has ult and conditions. Guess he didn't have summons. Maybe it was my fault, but we'll never know. Next, just trying to deny what they want to do. I think my Kai'Sa went on strike here because he got dove under his tower. It does feel kind of bad if your support leaves you, especially when you have a winning lane state. You kind of want to be played around, but Yeah, I can't be doing that. Moby boots rush Pyke, so I'm definitely not doing that. Just try to harass the Gwen. Ideally, I wanted her to burn her W to stop the hook, but she doesn't do that and decides to lose half her HP and then press W, so I guess we came out on top. Back to bot, we want to get more, just more relic stacks, and the same thing. Leave kites on the island, because for us to dive us kites at Pyke, it's pretty hard. And mid fights a lot, so me constantly being mid is generally going to be the best thing to do for the game. Get more deep vision in their jungle, just see what's popping. And same thing, my Kaisa is starting to get the idea that I'm going to use every time we get bot push to go roam on the map, so she trailed earlier. And now I see that they're trying to dive the Kaisa, but I'm finally on bot side, so I will try to force the 2v2 since we are just stronger at this point. We'll hit the hook on Ez. Dodge the Ez ult. Didn't need a flash, but yeah, still get the kill anyways. Just because of Ezreal. Hook doesn't connect. It's fine, I still have ult. See, make sure Nautilus doesn't pull this wave, and it looks like he wants to pull the wave, so he should be punished for this. Wave shows up, and he is no longer punished. So we get the recall, and I want to look at what to do. We're missing a top tower, so that's kind of bad. But maybe Renekton will push up far. We'll see everyone's conditions in just a bit. Shyvana's fighting. Fiora is definitely not going to be able to fight. Gwen was just in our top jungle, so I might run into her. Sweep our jungle just in case. There's probably nothing to get out of the sweeper. The Renekton never went deep enough in the jungle, but that's okay. Get some vision here. I know a lot of this is just kind of just cycling, especially when the game's slow. The score is it's under 15 kills this game, so it's not Fiesta like other VODs that other commentaries that I've done. It's kind of just cycling through and getting vision in the jungle anytime I can. It's just free information, and it allows everyone to play their game, you know? If you're losing, then you will know if you're getting dove jungles on your side. If you're winning, you will know if you need to fight or not. It just can't hurt to have information in their jungle. So my tier 2, my symbiotic souls finish. And I look mid once. Can't always get something out of it. Just make my presence shown mid. My jungle and AD are in base, so although I'm being really annoying, I have no intention of really starting a hard fight. If anything, I want to just pull numbers to me and then just leave, because Pyke's a really mobile champion, and you should be able to always like play up in the enemy's face and kind of force them to react to something. We see Gwen goes over, like the 5-10 seconds that will take, or 15-20 seconds that they take when they decide to not do a camp and they try to deal with the Pyke. It makes all the difference. Now they go into my Shyvana's jungle. I should have probably been there to match numbers, because my Shyvana was pretty much full conditions, so she shouldn't have to give camps. But we can't always make the best decision, can we? Going off base. See what lanes I can impact. Usually it's always going to be mid, because bot, we've already got broken the tower, and then for mid, this guy just loves fighting, so always be aware that the action is happening. We've seen this cycle before. The good old loops. Jungle's doing a really good job at, or I guess jungle support is playing really well together. And I've actually never seen this jungle in high elo. Maybe he's someone. Don't know who he is, but we're traveling together. Someone takes the gate. And it looks like Knowledge just into the game. He loses his flash, which is fine. Gwen Herald's mid, so we're gonna have to deal with that. This guy's running at us like he's got a problem. And we saw that he flashed earlier when he took the gate, so instantly we just go for the ult. Now this is becoming a really sus moment. Shyvana feels her flash over the Drake. My top died solo. And my AD is not happy with anyone. Now the game is getting pretty hard. It's 10-7 and I have 2 of the kills. So although I shared the bounty on my ults, it doesn't really make up for the fact that they have Gwen and Hwei that scale really well, and that my top is getting absolutely destroyed. So this is a good game to see what I do with a bot lead to make an impact on the rest of the map. And as you can see, this is probably my 5th or 6th time just like straight pathing to mid and leaving my AD to go do whatever. Nothing hits there. It looks like my Kai'Sa is safe. We can see from the vision I put bot side earlier. So now I'm just gonna, I did this earlier in the VOD too. Transition to top side, drop 1 ward. Now we see Gwen. So I know I can look on this Renekton. But unfortunately this guy is Thanos' son. So he's gonna go ahead and kill my top. And we kind of spawn a vortex here. My brand's here. My Shyvana has to ult out, and it probably would have been a decent play if I had ult, or if I had brought my brand earlier. But looking back, not all proactive plays are good. And here's just an example of it. So now we're just gonna do damage control, clear out wards, just try to make sure people can't recall for free. I see Ezreal is in the execute, and I make things worse by burning my own flash. So yeah, right now the game's kind of scary. It's 12-7. Already failed a proactive play, but the only thing that you can do in this situation is just try to look for more opportunities. And from what I can see is I recall, and I still see the enemy support is just starting to recall now. So I'll play proactively. I missed a chance to go to the gate. Wow. Not very good gameplay here, but just a typical, you have wards on the map, you want to see where you can place them. They don't have their tier 1 mid, so I can always look to fight if the lane's even. Now there's people around him and behind him, so there's no play there. And ultimately right now I just want to make sure my Fiora is safe. So I will try to get vision here, and they're first to this play. It just really feels like nothing is going right currently. Fiora buys a little bit of time, but hopefully we're trying to find who's going to make the mistake here. And Gwen ends up face checking, and here's our first pick that we get into the jungle. And here's the first ward. And for some reason, Nautilus walks up here. So we can see it's really easy to come back in these situations. And we end up doing a 3-for-3 in that exchange, and mentals are broken right now. It looks like Shyvana is about to go crazy, and she gets a kill, and it's a 4-for-4. Now, if you're our team, it's really good. You're behind, and you're managing to get an even kill trade, and it's not so good for the enemy, because if you have the lead, you should be expected to retain your lead. And for some reason I just don't like hex gates today, so I won't take any of it. But here I should look to protect my Fiora and get vision around top side, because if you see, bot side already has vision that people will eventually walk over. So I don't want to move all the wards that I had, but move all the wards that are relevant. With Baron spawning, it's the most important objective that they could get now. And we are in a little bit of a sticky situation. My Fiora's in front of 3 people. And because I'm playing Pyke, I'm able to walk more freely in the river, while Fiora can't. She has to burn her flash. But that's okay. So now you're just waiting to see what kind of mistakes you're able to punish. The first thing is that the enemy team is not catching their waves when people are showing. When Fiora was caught in the river, Ezreal completely dropped the mid wave. So creating like minor chaos in their jungle and in the river, it's going to be good for us. But obviously it comes with a lot of risk. But when you're in a losing game state, it's the only risk that you can really take. Drake spawning in 35. It's always good to look for picks before the Drake spawns. Because obviously if you kill it with maybe 30-20 seconds left, or usually with Hexgate you have to kill it like 10 seconds faster, just because of the distance that Hexgates give you. So your window to make plays and use important CDs becomes significantly smaller. Gwen's hovering above this Baron. She doesn't really have CC, so it's very easy for me to face check. We see Nautilus, so I know I can freely get vision on top side. Now we're playing for Baron, and I did go to the top side, but since I have Moby Boots or Symbiotic Souls, I'm able to just reposition and get back into the Drake area. Fight breaks out, and I'm always looking to see what I can disrupt in the backline. Typically playing front to black as Pyke is just never really a good option. They full dive, they get 2, we only get 1. And again, here we got the 1 for 2, but we got the shutdown. So that's a big dub for us. I pick up the kill on Nautilus and I share the gold with Brand. So effectively, in terms of gold, we're at a 4 kills to 2. So again, we got another good trade. And we're just going to keep having to do that throughout the entire game until someone takes Baron or someone makes a mistake bad enough for this Baron to go down. I'm pretty rich. Got deep pockets, 1400 gold base. There's a lot of CC that can NB. So going Edge of Night is usually one of the best options. Now here I'm going through mid, and I see my Fiora wants to push for bot wave, so it's my duty as a support to make sure he can safely get this bot wave. See Ezreal crossing through mid. Now he's going topside, so instead of going to prioritizing the Fiora, I need to... There's other things that come into priority, and they're 80 fog to Baron, so more likely that they will play on Baron rather than them playing into the Fiora. I take their vision in front of 4 people. It's pretty chill. So this just buys us time, because if they want to control this Baron, they always have to have full vision of the river. And every time I can just sneak and take words like that under his face, he is forced to base, which inevitably buys us more time to scale and look for picks. And here we see Hui. Hui eventually makes a mistake, and here we go. We capitalize on it. Now they don't have vision. They can't really pull Baron, even though we use Shyvana ult. But we need to protect our mid tower. It's the only thing they can really trade for. I'm getting my base off. Symbiotic Souls are really OP for this. You can just recall, get wards, and you're on the map in less than 15 seconds. And here I am, back onto mid, requesting for assistance to protect this mid tower. I'll make my presence known, just so that it gives us breathing room for them to not hit this tower fully. Now if I didn't, this tower would be lower by 1 or 2 autos, and that will always make the difference in any situation. See Nautilus is basing. Let's see if we can threaten, because... So I've gotten my base off twice before Nautilus has gotten his base off once. So already, he's going to have to walk into this blind. That was his last ward. And this is just completely dark. And I'm going to stay and try to mess with the jungle. Don't get hit the hook, but we get the Baron. And if we just get out, it's always going to be a really good trade for us. So I should be pinging my team to get out as soon as possible. But it looks like we just get a free kill. Obviously you don't want to trade top for support ever, but in this game state, any sort of gold trade is pretty decent. And I would say for scaling, it's not too heavily favored on our side, but for the people that are playing well, which is my jungle and AD, and my mid, and myself, I get anyone but my top, it's always going to be a good trade. While their players that are playing well, they're going even in trades. So in that regard, I would say we outscale. And there we go. That Kai'Sa starts paying dividends back off of the soul kill with the gold lead that she accumulated. Now, with most things, when you get Baron, you just want to play in their jungle and see where numbers are, and inevitably you want to keep sieging, because this is what Baron was for. And it's the same thing. It's always look at where numbers are and see if I can punish anyone. And here we go. Nautilus missteps, and he's punished. Wow, he's a genie. Oh, he just flashed. there's no way he wouldn't have flashed. And there we go. He's finally taken out. And now there's 2 people that are caught out. My Kai'Sa found a pick on mid. Nautilus is down, and they can only have 3. So us sieging is going to be really easy. They can't always have 3 people defending. Fiora is going to get chip damage off top, and we're going to get chip damage off bot because they don't stack S3. We end up taking their bot tower. And Shyvana kind of greeds to get the tower kill, which is understandable, but our champions seem to be too OP at this point. This brand champion is just not balanced. And again, we just have 2 numbers up. Kai'Sa finds a pick, that's 3, and now they only have 2 people, and just like that, in one Baron siege, we've been able to break bot tower, mid tower, we get mid inhib, we're inevitably going to get bot inhib, which we do now, and top's fighting. And if we can just secure this kill top, we can get our recalls, and then the game from here is going to be smooth sailing. My ult shares the gold with Fiora, so we just print 600 out of thin air. And already these cannons are just demolishing their base. And we can see that they're about to be open nexus. And just like that, off of a few picks, we get the kills, and we break the nexus open off of 1 Baron. And it's just that easy.